Thank you. Some people think of memes as cheap internet humor. Looking closely, memes are a source of connectivity that shapes our experience of reality. My name is Briedé-Cooper, and today I'm going to be showing you how UBC, memes, and the internet converge to generate culture. Some quick facts about myself. I'm a physics student in the Faculty of Science here at UBC. I'm the 2-year president of the Electronic Dance Music Club, and I've had the pleasure and privilege to live on campus for the last 5 years. It's safe to say I feel a sense of belonging to UBC. But that said, I'm not everyone. Last year, the Alma Mater Society conducted its annual academic experience survey and found that only 56% of students on campus feel a sense of belonging. For a university that puts a tremendous amount of effort into generating experiences and engagements for students, this is surprising. For example, every September there's Imagine Day for incoming students. There's over 400 AMS clubs, and their entire offices dedicated to what you would think would generate a sense of belonging. So what's going on? Well, UBC, unlike many other Canadian universities, is uniquely located away from our downtown core of Vancouver. What this means is the commuter experience is very common. They might call it the commuter life. In fact, UBC.ca reports that 75% of students commute to campus in some way. Consider a 1-hour commute to UBC. That would be 2 hours a day for 5 days a week. That's 10 hours a week on a bus or on a SkyTrain. That's time taken away from a resume-building part-time job or fulfilling extracurriculars. To offset this, UBC provides residence for 21% of students on campus. Still, there are economic factors that make residence inaccessible to students, not to mention really long wait lists. Other things that characterize UBC includes our sense of rivalry with other local universities like SFU, as well as campus being beautiful. It's big here, it's very much a bubble, and we can spend all our time on campus. It would be reasonable to expect that students would feel isolated living on campus or feel disconnected commuting to campus. Overall, there's a sense of weak central culture. That said, though, there's still clubs and departments and faculties that do have a strong sense of culture. I can at least attest to the sense of belonging within my own subcommittee, the UBC EDM Club. So where does the internet come in? Well, UBC's isolation particularly lends itself to internet communities. At this point, I should say that in-person experiences are meaningful for taking in the nuances of an experience, but I'm of a generation of digital natives. More and more, we experience reality through immersive technology and through the internet. The fact of the matter is, the vast majority of people use the internet every day. A study last year found that people spend almost, on average, 10.5 hours a day using technology such as TV, smartphones, radio, etc. It was also found that 65% of Canadians use social media actively. That social media includes Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, etc. It's on these social media sites that internet communities form. So let's take a look at UBC's vibrant ecosystem of underground internet communities. Our UBC subreddit was made 8 years ago. It's run by students who don't have any connection with UBC administrators, so it's largely independent. They have about 6,000 active daily users and have 13,000 likes. Let's take a look at an example of a post from our UBC. This is actually the top of all time, and the top post has over 530 upvotes. We see discussion amongst students, amongst users actually, with upvotes and downvotes, and if we click in, this is Colors of UBC by user Income Tax. So why did this post get so much attention? Well, what we see are things that students might see on a daily basis. Blue fences blocking your way to your class. You might stop by IKP to get some homework done, and if you're lucky and get the answer right, you'll see Webwork green. On the way out, you might see fog along Main Mall, sky gray, and around Halloween, you'll see Club Crawl orange posters. I run the UBC Class of 2021 Facebook group. Every year, there's a number of Class of 2021 groups that get made. Some of them are made by students. Some of them are made by spam bots that only grow the group to post scams or spam. What do people do in the group? They ask questions, incoming students post introductions, memes get shared, and there's a lot of event links that get posted. My group has about 12,000 members and gets around 6,000 daily active users as well. Let's take a look at an example of a post from this community. This was posted around Valentine's this year. To all the commuters. By far, the largest and most impactful UBC community is UBC Confessions. It has over 30,000 likes and over 63,500 daily users. Keep in mind that UBC itself has a total of 62,000 users. This is explained by the fact that 29% of users of UBC Confessions aren't actually UBC students. This group was made in September 2016, following from a previous page that had been made in 2013. The admin of the previous one went silent for some unknown reason. It was actually the users of Yik Yak that came together to make the new page. Let's take a look at some statistics about UBC Confessions. A survey was done last year of 811 people and asked the following question: does viewing confessions on this page have a positive effect on your daily mental health? 59% of people said yes. Only 14% said no. Why do UBC Confessions users use UBC Confessions? Well, 83.7% of users were found to use it for procrastination. Right. Let's take a look at an example of some of the posts you'll see on UBC Confessions. On the right is an example of a text post, and on the left is an image. In fact, the image on the left is significant because it's what instigated the meme war with SFU back in November of 2017. The image is an SFU bus, and the caption reads, "Oh look, I found a garbage truck." So what happened was, SFU Confessions received submissions of memes attacking UBC, and they were posted. The rebuttal back and forth was the meme war. What was interesting is that the meme war spanned across all of UBC's internet communities. There were posts to our UBC with some discussion about the memes that they could send back to them. I changed the UBC class of 2021 to the UBC class of 2021 meme war frontier. I collected people who made content. We made a group chat to submit stuff to UBC Confessions. What's interesting about UBC Confessions at that point is the amount of traffic the page got. The post during the peak of the meme war actually had over 122,000 reach. The big takeaway from the meme war, though, was that UBC students have a generic sense of what it means to be a UBC student. A lot of the memes were along the lines of UBC's better, SFU isn't, UBC's in the rankings, SFU isn't, but it didn't tap into the things that actually make UBC great. So some of the examples I've shown you so far are memes. But what is a meme? A meme has two parts. First, there's the form. It's the image or the media that you see. And then there's the meaning behind it, the context or the concept. And together, it is evocative, forming a symbol. More generally, any object or any experience can be paired with meaning to make a symbol. Things like the concept of love or language and numbers. Allow me for a moment to challenge your notion of reality. This is an excerpt from Kenneth Burke's Language as Symbolic Action. Can we bring ourselves to realize just how overwhelmingly much of what we mean by reality has been built up for us through nothing but our symbol systems? Take away our books, and what little do we know about history, biography, even something so down to earth as the relative positions of seas and continents. What is our reality for today beyond the paper-thin lives of our own particular lives, but all this clutter of symbols about the past, combined with whatever things we know mainly through maps, magazines, newspapers, and the likes about the present? What I would add to that final list are memes. So the symbols that represent UBC students is UBC's crest, panned pictures of campus seen from above, taken by a drone that no one would ever see in real life, drowsy speed walks down Main Mall, the UBC fountain, seeing UBC hoodies outside of the bookstore, the lights shining down from the nest, the metal UBC sign by the bus loop, and the stress and anxiety of commuting to campus on a snow day only to have your exam canceled. In what way does UBC culture manifest? It manifests as a system of symbols in the minds of students. Where can we find and interact with these symbols? On the internet communities. So the content on Facebook and Reddit is democratically filtered through likes and upvotes, such that the most evocative content gets to the top. What this means is, through this effect, the media generates a representational sample of the average student experience. For university administrators that are in a position to make decisions based on the average student experience, they would do well to follow these channels. I actually met with 3 administrators from the VP Students Office, and got a sense that they wanted to be hands-off with these internet communities. In their words, they said, "It's the participants that curate the culture." I think there's a bit more that could be done in a top-down way to encourage activity in these communities. The ecosystem of these internet communities is very volatile, changing year to year. I mentioned that UBC Confessions page had changed when an admin suddenly went silent. There hasn't been serious thought put into preserving these communities, which makes a large part of 4 years of some people's youth. Regularly compiling the media on these communities using something of a web crawler would be very feasible. Seeing the symbols on these platforms is only meaningful for a person when it's evocative, when it evokes feeling or understanding. When the media has that effect on you, it means you're part of that culture. So not only do these internet communities and the media on these internet communities represent the student experience, but seeing the media on the platforms inspires the culture in a person. As Oscar Wilde said, life imitates art far more than art imitates life. In an increasingly digital world, cultural identity can be entirely formed on the internet. Lines will increasingly blur between digital experiences and real-life experiences. In fact, UBC offers digital tours of campus. The more immersive technology gets, the more effective it is for cultural curation. Memes are a mature cultural phenomenon and invites media scrutiny. So why don't we scrutinize a UBC meme? This is UBC and MS Paint form by user Simple Mango from our UBC. You might have seen bits of it through my talk so far. What we see is Buchanan Tower with its brutalist architecture, the clock tower outside IKB, the totem pole, UBC fountain, that notorious blue fence surrounding a building supposedly under construction, and string lights around trees next to the engineering cairn. What's interesting about this is that it's a representational sum of the things that people see on campus, that students experience on a daily basis. There's discussion in the Reddit post between the users. Someone commented saying, "Totally inaccurate, not enough cranes." Simple Mango made some edits and generated the final form of this meme, which I like to call the University of Building Construction. So what's interesting about this is this meme actually expresses something different than the previous one. It conveys a sense of an overwhelming number of cranes being on campus. Although the symbols from the previous meme are there, they're a backdrop. So this is an example of the complex ways that symbols interact with each other to make new symbols. In semiotics, it's known as signs and signifiers. So in summary, UBC's internet communities contribute to culture on campus by being a rallying point for students, by being a gallery of the media that represents the student experience, and by inspiring that culture in individuals. On a packed 99 bus, commuting students have enough space to go on their phone and interact with these communities. Again, we see how UBC's isolation lends itself to internet communities. Regularly checking in on internet communities is a healthy part of an engaged, proactive 21st century lifestyle. Even if it's motivated by procrastination, as we've seen, it's not unproductive. Offline and online lives are not mutually exclusive. They work together. Feeling a sense of belonging is a human need, and these internet communities offer that. Thank you.